Hello and welcome back to another episode of The E Show. Once again, my name is Neil Ravin, the Director of PR and Social Media for the Eastern Hockey League. And joining me this week is Rich Decaprio, the head coach and general manager for the Boston Junior Rangers EHL team. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the podcast this week, Rich.
Hey, Neil, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it. You and I were talking the other day about it was kind of a 500 record for your EHL team at this point last season. And, as of
Mhm.
today, you're 16-4-0 in your first 20 games. I'm sure there's been a number of keys to your early season success, but if you had to pinpoint one major key, what would that be?
Yeah, I think really it's the effort has been consistent since day one. I think we've got a pretty balanced offense with a lot of speed. I think our D are really solid from the 1 through 6 that are in the lineup, and our goaltending. Uh, Both goalies have been very good. So I just think the depth of our lineup and the effort that they bring, every single night, every game has been consistent so far.
And right now, you're on a 4-game winning streak. You have the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights tonight at 7:50, and of course, tomorrow you play the Philadelphia Revolution, a matchup number 1 versus number 2. What has been the message to your team all week to focus on, tonight first and then tomorrow second?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of been one of the things that we try and not look past, whoever we're facing on any given night. We try to prepare for every team the same way. We never. I kind of tell my guys every weekend, like, we're not looking at standings, we're not looking at who we're playing and where they fall in their division or their conference. We're really just trying to, get better ourselves as a team and compete against each other, and make sure that we bring our best effort every single game, regardless of who the opponent is. That being said, the game against the Revs will definitely be, have a little bit different feel to it, I think, mentally and emotionally, because obviously they've had an unbelievable start, and they're ranked number 1 right now, and I think our guys will be a little bit more amped up for that game. But again, in our league, I think our league is so strong. You take a night off. Again, it doesn't matter what team you're playing or where they fall in their division. If you take a night off or look past a certain opponent, I mean, the chances of you losing are really good.
And kind of transitioning off of that, earlier this season, you took part in the EHL's AllStar Game against UMass Boston. You were one of the 3 coaches there, and then you had 2 players, and Nick Rinvalds and Nolan Egbert in the game as well. What was that experience like for you as a coach, and what do you think your players got out of it as well, playing against UMass Boston?
No, it was a great experience. I think, for me, it was great to coach with Chris and John, and those are obviously two very very good and well respected coaches in our league, and to be able to be on the opposing bench of UMass Boston, which is one of the top Division III teams out here, and it was great to be able to coach at that pace, because it is a different pace than what we're playing at the EHL. It's 1-2 steps quicker. And for my guys, for Grinny and Aggie, I mean, I think it was a really good opportunity for them to see that pace. And I thought the game itself was, I thought our league was showcased pretty well. I think we hung right in there. I mean, despite us having 14 penalty kills and only losing the game 3-1. I think it just shows the strength of our league, and the better players in our league can step right up and play at that level. So, I thought it was a great experience, more for the players. For me, again, it was just another game. I had a lot of fun. But I think for the players, it was really a great experience and opportunity for them to actually play, a college-paced game against one of the better teams.
Yeah, and speaking of stepping up and playing at that next level, I feel like I have to also talk about your EHL Premier team, in that, yes, your EHL team is 16-4-0, but your Premier team through 17 games is 14-1-2. And I guess my main question then is, for the guys that are on the EHL team, do they feel any extra pressure looking behind them and seeing how well the guys below them are doing?
Yeah, absolutely they do. I mean, I think our EHLP team is again, every year it's kind of in that same spot, one of the better teams in that league. And those guys, we have a handful of players on our EHLP team that practice every single day with our EHL team, and they do double sessions every week. They're playing with the EHL team, and then they're skating with their EHLP team later in the afternoon, and and they've also had opportunities to play EHL games as well. So our EHL guys that are, like every team's the same, I think, where you got your guys that could be in and out of the lineup, and it's good to have a handful, or if not a little bit more, guys on the second team that are knocking at their heels and plop a guy out if a guy's not performing or a guy's sick or whatever happens. Those guys are ready to step right up, and I look at it as a good example is like Zach Norby and John Grealish, those two guys that and Damian Dagweiger, those guys that were on the EHLP team last year, in a major role, transitioned great into the same exact role this year on our EHL team. So, it's a good measuring stick with our EHLP guys in the top lines down there that can come right up and play. And Coach Blair's done a good job with those guys this year. So it's good. It's good to have two teams that are winning.
Yeah, exactly. And for them, they haven't lost a game in regulation since their very season opener against the Walpole Express back on September 24th. They get them tonight as part of it's the EHLP game of the week. And of course, that game is at 8:30. And your two games this weekend, first tonight against Wilkes-Barre at 7:50. And then tomorrow afternoon, we talked about it, the big one against Revolution at 3:50. So good luck with all the games this weekend, Rich. You can catch all the action on Hockey TV, and we'll see you at the rink.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Neil.